evening and welcome to McMuscles Midnight Massacre, Chapter 2, I believe. And today we are dressed appropriately, as you can see.
It's all about the flower crowns.
For tonight's review, Midsommar.
Midsommar?
It's not summer. That's all I know.
It's supposed to mean midsummer.
Yeah, but I don't know why it's spelled like that.
Solstice?
I don't know. So this is the newest horror film by one Ari Aster? I don't remember. But he brought us the depressingly depressing
Hereditary.
Hereditary, which we like.
I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
So, you can expect much the same from Midsommar, because
Kind of, but
I don't know if I liked it.
From darkness to light. Because it was
That
very,
was a very dark
bright.
movie.
Yeah, Hereditary was super dark. It was almost like filmed all in the dark. And this is like complete opposite.
That's very true.
All
Completely forgot
daylight,
about that.
all the time.
All the time. And that's pretty, ambitious to do a horror movie where it's like, there's not really any night scenes. I mean, there is, but traditionally.
Yeah, but they glossed over it. They were like, anyways, back to what this movie is about.
Yes.
So the summary of this movie is, it centers on a girl named Dani, and, she's troubled, but then things get worse, because, her sister, who is bipolar.
Yeah, that's all they give her. She's bipolar.
Worried about her, gets this message. We're all, I don't know what the actual message was.
It was something like, Dani, I can't do it anymore. Or
Mom and
like
Dad
that.
too. And then horrifically somehow kills herself and also kills their parents.
Yeah, this is what happens within the first 5 minutes.
First scene. So. And but Dani has this kind of asshole boyfriend, Christian, who kind of already wants to break up with her because she's too much.
Within the first scene of showing him, you're like, oh, you're.
Yeah, he don't care about her. And then
Barely.
he's with his bros, and they're like, we're gonna go to Sweden, this is in winter, in the summer, and ditch her, we're gonna get milkmaids. Are they from Sweden? I don't know. And then her whole family dies, so Christian's like, I'm an asshole, but I'm not that much of an asshole that I'm gonna leave her, so I'm just gonna be there for her, and she's even worse after that.
And he's kind of basically guilted into bringing her on this trip, because she's alone, I guess.
Because he didn't tell her about it, and then she finds out about it at the party, and then she's like, you're going to Sweden? He's like, yeah, we're my bros.
For a month.
We're going to do a thesis. This is a thing. Our friend Pele, there's this festival. It's in Sweden.
Yeah, they have a friend.
Town.
They have a friend from Sweden that's like, oh, please come to my festival.
Come to my festival. Once every 90 years. It's a 90-day festival. And they're all like, bro, let's go. Swedish chicks are hot. And they're like, don't bring Dani. She's horrible. She's really upset because her whole family got murder-suicided.
She's such a downer, bro.
What a downer. And then he's like, no. I invited her and this is happening.
Yeah.
So they're all like, okay, bro, whatever, bring her. So this is the premise of the whole movie. So they're going to this festival, right?
Yeah, Pele has a village/community.
Yeah. Community.
Yeah,
Community.
Yeah, community, I guess.
Don't say cult.
Yeah, don't say, I don't think anyone even says cult.
No one does.
Because it's a dirty word.
They're just this is just some fucked up shit that's happening.
Yeah, I think it's the friend Josh who has the big, what do you want to say, thesis on this group. So he's the main guy that's hey, I'm gonna bring you all over here because they're all in the same college, I guess. So he's the main reason why they're going, but it's everyone pile on because chicks, I guess. I don't know. And very, very quickly the movie is okay, let's get to the community in Sweden. And within the first second of setting foot even near the village, please ingest these drugs, everybody.
Mushrooms. They come from the earth. It's okay.
Okay, well, it wasn't okay for most of them because all of them freaked out.
Yeah, but that's when it started getting the cinematography of you always see things moving in the flowers. So you go on the trip with these people.
Yeah.
And again, it's the first burst of this daylight that never ends. It's just always really, really bright.
Which is a type of horror in and of itself. I remember, what's the movie? Insomnia. That takes place in Alaska. Has Al Pacino and Robin Williams. No, it's that's the opposite. But it's always day, so people can't sleep, or if you're not used to it, you can't sleep or whatever. And that's like one element of this, like leading into it, just like get used to bright sun, because it is horrible in a way. It's like a different type of...
It's horrible in a way, but it's also daunting to make things scary in the daylight. So you really have to go in deep with stuff. To,
you do.
Not rely on the whole, like, it's dark, you can't see, like, spooks, like, jump scares or whatever. But, yeah.
It's... I'm not going to say it's, like, really quickly... But it's at a certain point, I guess, when they have... we don't want to get much beyond this point, but they...
we have to do a big spoiler alert.
Yeah, there is... I mean, it seems like a cult, whatever, but it doesn't seem that offensive.
No, like when you walk in there, it's really pretty. They're wearing like old-timey outfits, and you're like,
friendly.
Is this just because it's the festival? Like your first impression is you walk in, you're like, oh, they're wearing these clothes and they're doing these traditional things because it's the festival.
Yeah.
The once every 90-year festival, or is this how they actually live? Like that's your first like, is this their actual day-to-day life, or is this because we're here for this festival that they're like throwing it back? You know, like Throwback Thursdays.
Come and happy Midsommar. Skål!
So you kind of see that the new people all coming into the situation are like...
They're being taken care of.
They're being cautious. They're like, okay, well, you know, maybe this is just for the festival. You know, like, we don't know.
And they kind of take the new people through, like, oh, this is how, like, our life cycle works. This is how we view life.
Yeah, their traditions and their stuff, like, I'm actually super on board with it. Like, I love how they...
You're not super on board with some of the
stuff, but, like, some of the, like, the doctrine of the cult, I'm like, okay, so they have, like, each season is a period of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you start in spring till you're 18, and you're, like, just chilling, you're a baby. Then, like, 18 to 36, it's like your summer, you go wild, go crazy, don't worry about a job.
Go
just
crazy,
do your thing,
go wild, go crazy, go wild.
And then, like, the fall is, like, you're 35 to, like, I don't know, 50-something, and you're like, yeah, work, I guess, a little bit.
And then it's winter, and then it's old as fuck.
And then you only get to 72. You know, you get like 50, and then you're like, well, I had my time.
Yeah.
I reached 72. I got to die.
Yeah.
And that's
even if I'm in perfect health.
No, it doesn't matter. It's for the good of the community.
Exactly.
And they also like try to bring people. We're effing this up because it's like
no, it's fine.
We're going all over the place with this plot because
no. I think that's fine because that just puts a certain point in the movie where it's like, oh, I don't know about this cult. So maybe we could just leave it... Community. So maybe we could just leave it there for the base plot. But once that point happens, all these new people are kind of like... I don't know about this place.
Yeah, well, they're just like... The academics are like, oh, fascinating. There's a book. There's
like their rule books,
like like there's a clairvoyant, and there's all these things, right?
Yeah.
So wait, when are we gonna do spoilers? Because we have to say.
I think from now on, I'd say for the things that we liked and disliked, there's not really any other way about it. So if you're interested in seeing Midsommar with like absolutely no spoilers after that point, you know, do whatever you like, but. I'd say going into it, let's start with positives. From that point onwards, what were some of the things that like, struck you for this in general? Well, as a positive.
I did like the visuals of it. I did like the daylight, the whole daylight thing of it.
It's ballsy.
The main actress too, she has a very beautiful, like, very natural, emotive face. There are a lot of close-ups on her, and I really got like, she emoted so well with just.
Even though she's kind of like emotionally like kind of shattered in a lot of ways, she has a lot of charisma.
Yeah, just
the movie like focuses on her face
like a lot, and she carried that, and she did it really, really well. Like you saw her going through it. You know what I mean?
If it was a bad actress, would have fallen apart.
Exactly, she couldn't. It wouldn't have worked. So, and like I said, I liked the actual lore, rules, and history of this sort of community and cult and things like that.
It was really detailed.
Yeah, it really was. And there were a lot of, like, foreshadowing visuals of, like, in the place where they sleep. There's a lot of artwork on the walls, a lot of pictures, things like that. And I thought it was really intricate and very detail-oriented. I thought it was great.
And it wasn't stuff that was inherently, like, evil or, like, that's worrisome.
Yeah.
But a little bit, just a tinge of...
Just a tad. Just a bear on fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine, but there's a bear on fire.
There's a picture of a bear on fire, like, what could this mean? And then, like, towards the end, you realize what it means.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the beginning, it's like, because there were these, so Paley's the guy that brought this group of people, but there were these Americans, and his brother also brought this couple who was a British couple, an English couple. So then you realize, you're like, well, we're this tiny community, how do we keep it going? They're like, well, we bring insiders into like the bloodline, or the bloodline,
into the mix,
for the sex, to make the babies that are not inbred. But they do also like inbreeding for different reasons.
No, I think they say specifically it's like brothers and sisters. No,
cousins.
Yeah.
So you know, but
all these attractive cousins. What are you talking about?
But then they have that one kid who's always like a result of like hardcore inbreeding, who's like the oracle that writes the book of that era.
I want to talk about that because all those positives you kind of said, I also echo. They're pretty much, the movie is shot really well. It has great music. The actress is really good. But just to dip into negatives for a bit, just because you remind me of it. So they have this oracle child in the community. Doesn't really do anything, and this visual of this oracle, like inbred child, was used a lot in trailers and stuff. So I thought it was going to be a focal point of the film, and it's super not.
It was like half a shot of him.
It could have just not been in the movie at all, and it would have been the same. So that was kind of a thing where I was like, oh, okay, well,
they needed it for the lore. Like, for the storytelling.
I guess, but it could have been used to maybe greater effect, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, is that one of your dislikes?
It kind of was, yeah.
Okay. You want to go into what you didn't like?
I think some of the things that I felt weren't as effective, like my main one that I remember, is that when you're in a cult scenario, it's not great. A lot of people are wary of cults or anything even approaching it. So I felt a lot of characters in this film, when they're presented with a few horrific things, or very few suspicious things, just kind of go along with it. Now, there are certain scenes, not all, but a few, where it's like drugs are involved. Now, those can make you kind of like, yeah, whatever, cool. But then there's scenes where drugs are not involved, like it's been a couple of days. And
it's a 9-day festival.
Certain people, specifically, there's a moment where the main girl, Danny, has not ingested any drugs or anything, and she's kind of like, I want to get out of here. But it just takes a little bit of convincing. She's like, I guess I'll stay, even though she's greatly disturbed by something.
In for a penny, in for a pound. They're in this place. It's really hard to get out of there. The British couple tried to escape. They're like, we have one truck. There's one seat. It takes a while to get to the train station.
They walked most of the way.
It's fine. I guess I'll hang out, you know? But I know, one of your things, they accepted weird stuff too easily. But I feel like, I was trying to tell you, like, once you start doing a lot of drugs from the beginning, you kind of just like laissez-faire. You're like, it'll be
That's very true, but like during the scene I'm talking about, like, she hadn't had drugs in a while.
Yeah, but you're in that mindset of like vacation and like, maybe I'll get some more drugs and it'll make it okay.
It's great to know that if you go to a place like this, it's not going to take much.
Just give me some drugs.
So that was kind of
like, one of your things.
That was kind of like my main thing, where watching the movie I was kind of like, I don't know about this now. I think these people are being kind of staying to stay for
but they each had a reason, right? So like the Josh, the really like, and this is one of the things that you said that you didn't like either. It was really clear who like to villainize in this, like who not to like, right? The guy Josh, he was like, I'm gonna make this thesis, and I'm like, I don't care if horrific things happen, I'm not gonna be dissuaded.
He didn't seem that
at
upset.
All. Didn't give a shit. He's like, this is gonna be great material for my thesis. Christian, let's not even fucking get started on him.
Pretty much.
Let's not even get started on this piece of shit.
Everyone aside from Danny is kind of like
despicable.
They're presented despicably. So
you don't care if anything happens to them.
Yeah, exactly. If they're in this cult scenario, I don't really care that much if you live or die. In fact, most of you, I'd rather just you die in terms of like that you're being vilified pretty hard up to this point. And when you do that, a little bit of the tension goes out for me. It's the same thing as It's the same thing as Hereditary, though, where everyone in the family in Hereditary were kind of either weirdos or not super nice people, and I didn't really care if they died because they don't have like a good side to them, so I'm kind of like waiting for you to die.
Like, how do people have to be amazing angels for us to care?
They don't have to be amazing angels, but they have to not be evil,
not be bullshit
or assholes. You know, that's all I'm asking for. Every character doesn't have to be a final girl or final guy, but have at least a mix. They were all kind of shitbags,
I guess.
So that's my main thing.
You know, I mean, I guess without going into what happened. So, like, there's this 9-day festival, like, as days go by, like, something happens, you're like, oh, this shit's fucked up. And every subsequent day that goes by, it's like, it gets more and more, like, intense, I guess you can say.
Because there is that sense of madness as it's going on and on, specifically with all the days of daylight.
You had said that, because it's daytime all the time, so you had said it seems like it's one long day, because you don't really see the night. You see when they go into the house to sleep, but you're not really seeing nighttime shots. It's very brief.
There's like one scene maybe.
So it kind of transitioned to feel like it's one long day that happens,
which is cool. I like that part.
Which is kind of exhausting, but like still cool. And then there's the whole like May Queen thing. So they talk about the May Queen. Paley talks about it even like when they're not even there.
It's like kind of like the culmination. Of
exactly.
The
so like whoever becomes the May Queen, and they put this emphasis on it. And for me, again, spoilers. It just seemed like it was very obvious what would happen because they kept doting on the May Queen. I'm like, it's just gonna be May Queen.
One of her guy friends is not gonna be the May Queen.
Y'all know she's gonna be the May Queen.
Yeah. So.
And you know that this, you know, community has this big traditions and stuff. It's gonna have a lot of importance, this title. You know, that if you get it, you're gonna have to make some sort of choice. So yeah, again, big spoilers. Danny becomes the May Queen, and again, Paley is this weirdo who brought them all. And again, people are tasked in this community to go out, like go to university, go to the States, go to England, and like bring people back basically for the bloodline. And then for this festival, which is every 90 years, so it's like
it's not that often.
It's not that often. But
so
they take it pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And so then, you know, it all culminates with this big point at the end.
Yeah, where the May Queen has to kind of make a decision. I don't think we're going to go into that.
Let's not go into that.
But it was a very, like, I will say that the ending, it goes kind of along with Hereditary, where it just kind of presents you a scenario, and it's not like a definitive ending or something. It's just like a thing to make you ponder, like, oh, I wonder what that person's thinking, or I wonder where their headspace is. And that's basically kind of it. And it's kind of what I was expecting going in. I mean, overall, the things I said, it was still a really interesting film.
It was a crazy ride.
Horror is kind of getting this thing that there's this elevated level of horror like this and Hereditary and a few others here and there. We're trying to, you know, make an artsy, interesting movie, but it's in the horror genre still. And I haven't seen one where I'm like, I 100% love it.
Yeah, there's always
something where I'm like,
Like we're saying too, like, so like they did things with like the flowers and the foliage that was always moving. That was the thing that you didn't like.
I mean, I could have done without it. I could have done with it.
But it goes into that, like, we're making this different. We're making this more, it seems more artsy than just a horror film, a slasher film, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, look at this artistry. Look at us using, you know, the
background,
metaphors, and whatever, and there was a lot of
shots.
Visual things that were just like, and even the final shot has so much significance behind it.
Yeah.
So, you know, again,
I did want to say, because I forgot about this, one of the things that kind of makes this whole thing effective is that, you know, we've watched one or two like cult-ish movies before. One of the things that this does specifically is that when there is like very isolated violent scenes, they're not long, they're very brief, and when they do them, they're effective.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
To add on that, I was going to say, like, whenever there was, like, I guess you would say, like, gore or bodies found, it's done, and this was one of my likes, in such an artistic and artistry ways. Like, there's flowers placed, bodies are like flayed in beautiful ways, and they're almost like, it's almost like a painting, a tapestry.
Kind of reminds me of Deadly Premonition. Whenever someone's dead, they have the red flowers growing out of them and shit like that. So it reminds me of it a little bit.
But do you know what I mean? Like, it isn't just, you know.
It's not just like a dead head lying on the ground or like a severed arm.
It's just like very significant, very, you know, for a reason.
Yeah, because all the deaths that do occur like are important to the village, to the community, with these people, and
they don't take it lightly.
They don't. So everything all raveled, all like put together, is it's really interesting. But it's like I don't know if I really love the film. I don't know if I'll watch it again, but I'm still glad that I did.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm happy I've seen it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, would you recommend Midsommar in general?
Well, listen, I'm down with blondes named Danny who want to, like, burn the fucking world down.
I guess, yeah.
So, like, I'm in her corner. I do recommend it.
I mean, I think if you're into this type of weird, like, slightly off-kilter sort of film, horror or otherwise, I'd recommend it. I wouldn't say that the story or the characters are all that interesting.
They served their purpose, though.
They did, but I mean, just for me, I'm just kind of like, I don't have anyone much to root for, because her, I'm already like, I gotta root, like, I'm kind of pigeonholed to root for you.
No, you sound like Christian.
Yeah, I guess so. But I just didn't find, like, the main story all that interesting, but I don't think it was that type of film. But
wait, okay, so... Again, spoilers. Did you think that the initial scene with the parents and the sister would somehow come around and be a part of like the ending? Because I did.
I thought it would come back in some way. I didn't know what.
No, I thought it would be connected. Like I thought it would be like,
yeah.
oh my god, no, and then it wasn't. Maybe it's just me. If anyone else feels that way, like let me know.
I felt that Danny's sister was
like,
in the cult originally.
Yeah, exactly. Something. It would be connected somehow because it was such a disturbing visual, like with the sister and the parents and how that all went down. And I'm like, this is somehow connected, but then it never was. So I was kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was kind of not a red herring per se, but it was
sort of though, but not really,
maybe.
But sort of, yeah.
That's kind of what I mean. Is that like the story just
it
doesn't it doesn't go full circle. It just kind of has a thing like an intro, and then it just stays in the community the entire way, and both things aren't really connected. So it didn't feel that interesting to me, like as a whole film.
Well, I mean, in a way, you know, Danny lost a family, but then maybe she gained another one.
Yeah, maybe. You know, it's not the best one. They don't drink the best drinks with the cleanest water and liquids in them. But if you know the film, then you know what I'm talking about. Regardless, I guess overall I still would recommend it. But like, yeah,
just to see it.
It's an acquired taste, definitely. So that's Midsommar. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a weird movie,
too
but
many flower crowns.
It's getting scratchy, wasn't it? Yeah, a little bit.
My headache.
So that's it for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the McMuscles Midnight Massacre, Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.